Hello there, this is Shippy the Explorer, um, still in somewhat of a sad mood. Um, this is almost coming up to this is 4 something in the afternoon, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, for another 4 hours, it will be 24 hours since we have this tragic accident here, traffic accident in Washington, D.C. National Airport. Um, so the whole country and parts of the world, even Russia, is affected because we had Russians on that flight, but predominantly Fairfax County and D.C. and some Maryland schools. We have lost young people and their family in this accident. The military, on the other hand, we've lost 3 people in that helicopter. And from all reports, it's that they were experienced pilots and aviators. So we are still crying tears of this tragic accident. And so we're saying that you can never plan these things. You never know what's going to happen in each day as you go out and from your house, or you take a trip, or you take a walk, drive around the neighborhood, and never know what's going to happen. And this is a good example of a group of kids and their family went out to Midwest, I think, and they had a wonderful time, it seems, and on the minutes before they land on their destination, then this tragic accident occurred. So, but all a year around us, you can hear the rumbling of the cars, you can hear the rumbling of the airplanes and helicopters, and life continues. So there are some leaders who said they will pick themselves, the rest of the family will pick themselves up and continue. But this devastation is gonna last for years with different people. It's going to last, and you could never forget some of these things, the tragic occurrences. Because I remember that 1982 incident. Remember it clearly. We talk about that I was a painter, and I was painting down on Old Town Alexandria. I think it was Duke Street or something like that, and it started to snow. Started snowing, and I said to Peter. Peter said, "Let's pack up because it's going to snow, and we need to get out of town." It was about 12:30, and it was unusual because normally we work until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. See helicopters are running around and everybody's busy. It looks like it's actually the ambulance helicopter. So Peter says, "Let's pack up." 12 something, and say, "Okay, we're glad for that too, because sometimes we don't want to work. It's January, it's cold, and we actually were working inside, so we had some coverage and all that. So we've finished spraying the house. In those days, in the old houses, the old days, well, even now, you spray the whole house and then you start cutting the trims and all that." And he says, "Let's go." So we packed up, and I jumped in my car. I think I didn't have Kojak. I think I had the Toyota that I had fixed up. So busy here traffic is in Washington DC. Even up in Maryland here, every second there's something else flying around. So I left and we head up Duke Street and then we switch, exit onto 395. And that's the route that takes you by National Airport. And I remember skidding. It was snowing enough that I skid. And the back of the car just swung around. And I corrected it and stayed on the main road, and I took my time and hitched until I remember crossing 14th Street, and then I switched to DC, and next I think about another half an hour or 30 minutes I think I was home resting. And then I heard the news came over the TV. Oh, there's been a tragic air crash in Washington DC. Plane was coming off the runway, and it started trying to climb up, and it didn't climb up high enough, and it clipped the 14th Street bridge, and now the plane is in the river. And camera guys came out already, the news guys came out, and bystanders came out. But who was missing? The emergency people, because the Potomac River was frozen over, folks, frozen over, solid. So the plane, you could actually see parts of the plane in the Potomac River. And then after a while, it seems like some of the passengers managed to crawl out and swam out of that plane and were in the frozen water trying to swim to shore. But you can't, you're gonna break the ice with your hand, and you're cold, and there's no emergency vehicle, no boats, that ice breakers that came to their rescue. And people parked on the side of the road and were looking down, and some people could not take it any longer. They jumped into the frozen Potomac River and were swimming and trying to swim up towards injured people that were coming out of the plane. I think I remember one or two or three or something like that. And you could see the struggle. And can't remember much more detail than that. It was too dramatic. And because I think they were able to manage to rescue a number of people, survived that flight. But the rest of them were under the frozen ice in the water, in the Potomac, where many of them passed, unfortunately. So you never can. That was 1982. Some 40-something years ago, and you can't take that out of my mind. Can you imagine the people who were actually on the riverbank of the Potomac? You can imagine the people in the plane. Can you imagine even the emergency people who finally came, the tragic experience of seeing so many death and injury? The ship of the Explorer, those memories still stays with me. And I sat in front of the screen and I watched. And I remember if tears came, but tears. Heart was crying, man. My heart, you cry, even within, tears within, because life is being expelled from a tragic incident. And now, 40-something years after, we have another accident. And most of the experts are saying that some of this could be avoided. could be avoided. Who to know? The investigation will take place. You know, the investigation will take place. Can you imagine? Look how cold it is. Has been more than almost 2 weeks. This is the second week now. Ice and snow is still on the ground. Still on the ground. And you can imagine in the water, in a stream, in a river, and try to fight against such condition. How tragic. How tragic. This morning I said, I offered a word of prayer, a silent moment for the dead. And Shippy, the explorer, sympathized with the families and friends of these lovely young people at the loss of their lives. Such a tragic accident. And we, the ones who are alive, we have to continue to live. Families, the rest of the family, they have to continue to live with such a loss, such a tragedy. Not even the sun is shining. The sun is even obscured over Washington D.C. because the where you see the clouded sun and it is blocked in, that's over the Potomac, folks. That's over Washington D.C. I know the sun is far away, but it, even from this end, it looks sad. It's sad, sad, sad. Not even the sun is shining more than to a great extent. So, the next chapter of this is how do you pick up and move on with your life? You know, how do you move on with your life? You know, you have to have counselors, you have to have maybe psychiatrists, psychologists, psychiatrists, I think that's the medical one, to help. You have to have counselors, friends, teachers, religious leaders who can sit down and talk and console. We have to have good friends and people who understand how to talk, because it's not everyone who sits down with you when you're have a tragic situation of you have lost. They're able to say, this is how you do. Cry if you must. Some people will say that, oh, I understand. You don't understand fully. Never you say that to a certain extent that you understand, because you're not in the shoe of the next person. You can say you understand to a certain extent, but you can never fully understand the situation that another face when they have such loss. But the counselors, they have their list of questions, and they have their list of actions to take, and sometimes you just keep quiet. You stay still. You be there for the person. You just be there for the person, because there's nothing you can say sometimes to overcome such loss. So you be there for the person or the persons. So it's going to be a long period of time when we have all these experts trying to work with these young people, the families and young and old, to try to have them recover emotionally, spiritually, in such a way that they learn how to continue living. You have to learn how to accept the loss, acknowledge that it was an accident. It wasn't suicide, or we're not sure if it, we're not sure at this point, but it looks like it was an accident. And you just have to be reassured that you can get some spiritual comfort from your religious, your spiritual leader. And whether it is God Almighty, or Yahweh, or or if you believe in Christ or something like that, you or Muhammad, or Buddha, or a Muslim, or a Sikh, then you consult with your religious leaders to pull some energy out of them, and through them you sometimes will most likely overcome this tragedy. So, as I said this morning, our hearts are out to sympathize with everyone. And Shippy the Explorer, as a Christian, says word of prayers. Our prayers are with everyone involved in this tragic situation. So in the meantime, continue to live, continue to pull strength from any angle you can get it, any way you can get it. Tie into good friends and good leaders and good spiritual leaders of your community, and you will make it. Sun is struggling over Washington, and not even getting any warmth from the sun at this moment. The place is cold, it's windy, but the air is refreshing to a certain extent. And you can see it has been, temperature went up to a certain extent because frozen water have now melted. The rest of the remnants of the snow is going away. So, can't even say if you're enjoying these tapes, if you're spiritually gaining from this, then it's good that I put a few words out to really lend comfort at this moment. It will take a while that we to overcome, as I said, the sadness. I can't say to be good to yourself and others, but we can, because maybe at this moment it requires all of us to be collectively good to yourself and others, so that we can all pull through this tragic moment. and look towards the west, and the west is crime. And tomorrow we look towards the east, where the sun rises, and we hope for a new day. We hope that in another 12 or 24 hours the sun will rise, and that's an opportunity to start over again, another opportunity to renew yourself, to be spiritually uplifted, and live and live and live. But even if you don't forget. So from College Park, folks, this is Shippy the Explorer. It's a tough time saying we'll continue to stay tuned for more highlights of what's going on, and more maybe some spiritual words of comfort from this station. May you be at peace. May you be at rest. May you find comfort and strength where you can lend some support to others. Stay tuned for more words from Shippy the Explorer from College Park, Maryland. This walk, it's not frozen to a certain extent, so we'll walk around the yard and see if we can see this bad fella. Oh, I think it has a nest here. Squirrels, they make their nest in the tree, and they're looking now for food after this cold weather. Stay tuned, my friends. See you soon. So, Shippy the Explorer, in fall I took down this tree, and I didn't get the chance to, and it didn't fall as I wanted it to. It took a break and came jammed into the tree up there, but it did drop some of its dry branches, and you can see where it deposited these large limbs. So while the coast is somewhat clear, I can oops, wow, it's so slippery it is. So very slippery because the soil has been soaked with the snow. So as you turn around, you slide. So maybe I should set the camera up the place where I'm seeing to a certain extent on a safe ledge, and I can maybe clear some of the mist from the area. But where to set the camera, it's hard to figure out. Maybe on this ledge. There we go. On a ledge where I can see. So I think taking the opportunity to clean some of these away. Some of these branches have got stuck. And they say, why is he worried himself about this mess? Why are you worried about this mess, folks? Because now it's easier to move these branches. Easier now, it's clearer. So take up the GoPro and clean the mud off the GoPro. And when I go up, I'll wash it off. So now it's a little clearer. If you don't clear these sticks out the way, then there'll be So this is an azalea plant. This one is an azalea, and if I don't, sooner or later in spring, in a in a few weeks it will be blooming. So if I don't take this mess off of it, it will be messing up the plant. Well, I do this as an act of exercise and also keeping my backyard de-sticked, removing the stick from off the plants and the flowers. You just have to be careful that I don't stick my eyes with any of this mess. So why am I bothered? Because it's part of me to clean this mess. Part of my nature to make right. See? It has been sitting on it for the whole winter time. This is oak tree, folks. That tree that I cut, it's oak, and it's as tough as diamond. No, not that tough, but I'm telling you, it's one of the more durable pieces of board you can, or wood, or limbs, or branches you can ever have. When you light it and you get a fire going off the dry branches, it can melt metal. I've seen this type of wood, when it's going, you just melt the metal bars in the fire. And it's as dry as it is now, it can still damage your skin if you're not careful. So I'm just gonna ease it up, tilt it over there. Now this plant is a little freer from being burdened by a big branch of dry oak tree. And here we go. We have a couple more pieces that I'll take up and remove from the lawn. To make my riverside property look a little pleasing, a little more appeasing to the eyes. Still finding more and more. So that's it. I can stop and take a break and enjoy the view of the river as it flows. Don't need on my stick anymore. I think I threw it away. But let's see how far we can get down and just overlook what's going on. Get a closer look at the river and try not to fall, folks. Try not to fall. So you realize I got down into the bushes in the forest and I did a little of cleaning, and for a few minutes what did happen? I forgot my pain, my worldly pain. I forgot that things were not right in Washington. And here we are. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's squirrel, but I'm not going to go any further because it's too soft in the soil. But that's an example. You get up and you go and you do, and that's in healing. It helps with the healing, folks. It helps with the healing. You can hear the river flowing. The Indian Creek River. Every time I look at this river, I just imagine Indians 400 years ago, the babies just running along this river, catching fish, cooking, mothers with their babies in their arms, being fed, and they're catching a fish and they're enjoying themselves and they're cooking. And wow, this is dangerous. It's very slippery. Very slippery. We have to be careful. I know if I fall, I don't think I'll get injured. I'll just get muddy. Muddy. So let me get back out of this place. I think I've done enough. You would agree? Yes, I've done enough. Path is clearer, and I can at least, when it dries out, I'll be able to venture down here another time. Another thing happened, I'm warmer. Activity allows the body to produce heat, and I'm feeling so comfortable now in the cold. So that's what it's about. Well, let Extreme Explorer get out of this environment, folks, and go back to civilization. To civilization. Follow the path that the deer takes and you'll be all right. Wow. You'll be surprised how soft this ground is. How the earth is soft. The soaking in of the snow. So the plants have gotten a dose of water, a drink of water, even if it's cold. Good. All right. So we're almost at the top, and we look back into the valley and think of the beauty of this place. Talk to you soon, folks. Stay tuned for more exploration by Shippy the Explorer. Talk to you.